With this summer's whirlwind of a transfer window coming to an end, there have been some interesting signings and some impressive work by clubs that have managed to keep players that seem destined to depart. So today, I'm having a look at my top 5 teams in Europe that have done the best business. Coming in at number 5 is Villarreal. Now, they normally float around the Europa League places, but this season, could they make that step up and be challenging at the top? Let's start with the manager, Unai Emery. Yes, he was a hot mess at Arsenal, but Villarreal is the perfect place for him to seek a little bit of redemption. He knows the league extremely well, and he has made some impressive signings ahead of this season. Villarreal were able to bid farewell to some of their older players, including Andrés Fernandez, Bruno Soriano and Santi Cazorla, along with some other names, which meant Emery needed replacements. For me, one of Villarreal's best signings was Kubo on loan from Real Madrid. He had an amazing spell at Mallorca, and he's one of the brightest talents in La Liga. He's bound to be one of the big changes in Villarreal's midfield, alongside a few players that Villarreal managed to raid from Valencia. Now, this was a bizarre chain of events, and it saw Valencia sell on Francis Coquelin, and also they gave away for free their captain, Dani Parejo. Now, not only is he an amazing player, but also extremely experienced, he's going to be able to replace Santi Cazorla and also will provide some much needed stability in that midfield. Now, they weren't new signings, but this season we are going to see one of arguably the more exciting strike pairings in Gerard Moreno and Paco Alcácer. Last season, Moreno really reached his potential, finishing with 18 goals and 5 assists. Only Lionel Messi and Karim Benzema managed to score more than that in La Liga. He normally played on the right, out wide, but with the arrival of Kubo, maybe Emery will opt for more of an orthodox front two with him and Alcácer. Now, Alcácer, he didn't score that many goals, but he did only arrive in January, so it will be exciting to see what he brings to the table. For me, Villarreal have had an amazing transfer window. They've not only managed to get in a strong manager, but they've made smart signings that haven't broken the bank and already add to an impressive team. Now, they did lose to Barcelona at the beginning of the season, but I've got every faith that they are certainly going to be challenging in that top 4. Next up, number 4, it is AC Milan. This transfer window, they have certainly thrown their hat into the ring for quite a few players as they look to bypass the likes of Napoli, Roma, Lazio into that top part of Serie A. Signing Sandro Tonali was a massive win for Milan. So many teams were after him, from Juventus to Barcelona to Manchester United, and it will be so exciting to see him at Milan. Now, the 20-year-old has been dubbed the next Andrea Pirlo, so does this mean that Milan have finally replaced their legendary midfielder? The addition of Brahim Diaz has also given Milan more depth and some added star power in their midfield, and it's looking pretty good. With Zlatan Ibrahimovic still at the club going into the final year of his 30s, he's looking pretty good, and he's a proven goal scorer and a great attacker for Milan. Now, although Milan's defence still needs to be improved, I think their wish list will probably consist of a right back and another centre-back. They were able to keep Theo Hernandez, which is a big win for them, as he's arguably going to become one of the best left-backs in the Italian league. The main thing that's got Milan looking so good is their 4-2-3-1 formation, and the fact that they have been able to turn loan players such as Ante Rebic and Simon Kjaer into permanent signings shows that these players want to stick around and that Milan are building something exciting. Whether they'll be able to break into that top 4 remains to be seen. However, with the signings that they've made, they've definitely got a good chance. My 3rd best club is Everton. Now, did I ever think that I was going to be stood here talking about Everton and how they are smashing it out of the park with their transfer window? I'll be honest, no. However, I guess this is the Carlo Ancelotti effect. You know, he's an amazing manager, he's pretty much won it all, and he's bound to attract some good players to Goodison Park. Slowly but surely, Everton have been building a great team, and it seems like Ancelotti is finally putting the missing pieces to the puzzle together. One thing that I like about Everton's transfer window is, although at the time of filming they are still rumoured with a few different players, they did most of their business pretty quickly. Although Everton had some great goal scorers in Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison, it was obvious that they needed some help in midfield. And with this in mind, in came Abdoulaye Doucouré, James Rodriguez and Allen. For me, James Rodriguez was the star name, the star signing for Everton. And to be honest, I don't think we would have seen him in Merseyside had it not been for Ancelotti and their relationship. He did have a tough time at Real Madrid. However, you cannot deny the fact that he is a pacey attacker with some great creativity and some experience. Whilst Rodriguez is bound to add some flair in attack, Allen is going to be a vital cog in the machine for Everton. Whilst he can contribute in attack, he's also very active out of possession and has great passing range. Allen's presence will offer some stability in midfield that Everton have arguably been lacking since they lost Idrissa Gueye to PSG. I'm really glad also that we are going to be able to carry on watching Doucouré in the Premier League. Now, Everton apparently wanted him from Watford last summer. Things didn't really work out, and now with Watford's circumstances changing, they were happy to take around £20 million for the French midfielder. The thing with Doucouré is he's going to provide Everton with that box-to-box midfielder, somebody who's going to be able to chase the ball down and put in the work. And it seems like Doucouré and the other signings that Ancelotti have made have proven exactly why he had his eye on them. In addition to the great signings that they brought in, Everton were also able to keep some of their vital players. For me, I thought Richarlison was destined to leave Everton. I thought he'd maybe go on the hunt for a club that could provide him with a bit of silverware, but he is still there along with Calvert-Lewin, and that is a massive win for Everton that they've been able to keep players like that. Now, for me, last season there were some signings that didn't quite live up to expectations, including Alex Iwobi and Moise Kean, but I'm confident that with these new signings and a boost of confidence, they'll be able to find their form. Ancelotti is creating a great squad at Everton. It's really exciting to see, and they've had a great start to their Premier League campaign, and dare I actually say it, I'm a bit scared to say it, but could Everton be finishing in the top 6? I guess we'll have to wait and see. Coming in at number 2 for me is Borussia Dortmund, and I've got my reasons for this one. So going back to last season, they made some great signings with the likes of Brandt, Haaland and Hazard. However, this summer it seemed like Dortmund were going to lose some of their biggest names, and the fact that they've been able to keep the likes of Haaland and Jadon Sancho means that although they may not be on the same level as Bayern Munich, this team is still trying to build towards success that these players want to be involved with. In addition to not losing any of their big names, Dortmund also brought in some reinforcements. First up, another attacking midfielder in 18-year-old Renier on loan from Real Madrid, who is certain to have his chances alongside the other teenage midfielder Giovanni Reina, who has worked his way up from Dortmund's under-19 squad. They also did a great bit of business getting Thomas Meunier from PSG for free. Now, when you look at their right-back options, they were left with 1 or 2 youngsters that were a little bit inexperienced, or a 35-year-old Lucas Piszczek, so getting Meunier at 29 was a great move. And of course, Dortmund managed to get Jude Bellingham to sign on the dotted line. This is an amazing move for both the player and the club. So many other clubs were after him, and it's going to be great to see how he fares in the Bundesliga. He's already slotted in quite nicely, and I think the fact that at the time of filming, Dortmund have managed to keep hold of Jadon Sancho, and they've also got Haaland, who scored 16 goals last season, and he was only there from January. So with these types of players in their team, it is looking like they are going to have a great season. And finally, the last one, it is Chelsea. Of course it's Chelsea, who else would it have been? Frank Lampard is building such an exciting young attacking team, and he has certainly made up for that transfer ban that they had last season. Now, at the end of last season, they did have a bit of a shaky defence, an ageing midfield, and a goalkeeper that maybe wasn't at his best. So what did Lampard do? He did what every fan wants to see their manager do. He looked at the problem areas, and he went out and he bought with the best that Roman Abramovich's money could buy. Now, he did clear the deck, saying goodbye to the likes of Willian and Pedro, both great players, but over 30, and they went on some free transfers, and also Alvaro Morata departed from Stamford Bridge. So in came the new signings, and first up, Timo Werner. A quick, young, energetic forward who can also play on the wings and is a brilliant addition and just what they need. Then Hakim Ziyech for around 33.3 million, another impressive player, this time from Ajax, who can play on the right wing and also in midfield. Another box ticked for Lampard. Next up, the left-back position, which was calling out for Leicester City's Ben Chilwell. And to add to their defensive options, Chelsea brought in French youngster Malang Sarr for free, and the not-so-young Thiago Silva also for free. Now, I know his debut was a little bit rocky, but you cannot deny what this man can bring to a team. He is arguably one of the best central defenders of his generation, and people are going to argue that maybe he's a little bit older, but I think he's going to be great when he does come on and play, and I think he can also offer a lot off the pitch to Lampard's young team. And as if that wasn't enough, of course, Chelsea brought in Kai Havertz, one of the most talked about transfers, and he's arguably one of the most exciting youngsters in European football, if not world football. And I mean, he's already scored a hat-trick for his club. I think that says it all. An amazing addition by Lampard. Now, the only thing that was really lacking now was a goalkeeper, with Kepa having an absolute nightmare at the beginning of this season. So, what did Lampard do? He fixed it. He brought in Edouard Mendy from Rennes for around £22 million. Problem solved. A lot of amazing signings right there, and Lampard is building such an exciting team with squad depth, and they've now got a bench that teams are actually going to be a little bit fearful of. You now not only have the likes of Tammy Abraham, Giroud, Hudson-Odoi, Mason Mount, Pulisic to pick from, but you've got some of the most exciting names in football as well that so many clubs were after, but it was Chelsea that managed to get them. They have made some massive, massive moves this transfer window, and in the competitions that they're still involved in, they are bound to be contenders. And of course, before the comment section goes crazy, big shout out to the likes of Spurs, Lazio, Arsenal. I could go on and on and on. There have been some other teams that have had some amazing transfer windows, but those are my top 5. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think, what your top 5 is, and what you think about the transfer window so far. Whilst you're there, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe if you're not already subscribing, and check out all the other content that we have got going on here at OneFootball. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you guys soon.